Good morning, startups. All good? Do you hear us?
Yes, good morning.
Morning, Sapir. We have Marine, Jacob, Oliver, Tom. Yes, please rename yourself as your startup name and then your own name. So we know who is there, who is speaking, and who is ready to answer some questions. And we start in about, 2 minutes. Are we ready? Ready? Let's kick some climate. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Climate Launchpad Regional Final for the region of Europe. So I hope you know already what Climate Launchpad is already by this moment. But just to remind you, Climate Launchpad is a global competition of green business ideas to unlock the world's clean tech potential that addresses the issue of climate change. And of course, with this Climate Launchpad seeks solutions, entrepreneurial solutions to address the global climate challenge. It started with 10 countries back in 2014, and this year we already have 59 countries. And this year, this is one of the 4 regional finals for Europe. And it features these regional finals about 18 countries and 24 startups that compete in Europe will go to the semi-final and the global final. And totally we will have about 80 startups presenting themselves and competing for the grand prizes at the global final of Climate Launchpad. So, before we begin, a quick introduction about the face you see here on the blue background. So my name is Alexander. Currently, I run a startup called Mega Generation, where we create educational games and gamification solutions for aspects of nature conservation and sustainable development. With this, I have been, I think I started as a participant, participating startup of ClimateLaunchpad back in 2015, then went to a local trainer, then co-organizer, then national lead of ClimateLaunchpad in Moldova, then jury member, then regional final jury member, and now here I am as a moderator. Evolution happens. But of course, it's not only me shining here on the stage. It's also Frank, the room boss, lord and master, who will manage all the timing and make sure that everything goes as smoothly as ClimateLaunchpad can do. And of course, we will also have jury members. I will present them later. And of course, we have the main stars of this scene. The spotlight will be today on you and only on you. And it is you, our dear entrepreneurs, our dear startups. And of course, we will enjoy basically introduction of every one of you throughout this regional final. But let me open the official slides that we have. And yeah, so officially welcome to the ClimateLaunchpad regional final for Europe. We have already started at 10 a.m. The Netherlands time. Just again to remind you that please have your Zoom window marked with your startup name and your own name. When you're not presenting, please mute yourself and maybe switch off the video, so we will not see how you stress and panic behind the screen. We will announce your pitch and we'll start it. It will run hopefully 5 minutes, we'll check. And then we will again call you, or the startup who has presented, to shine on this virtual stage and to probably sweat under a flow of questions from our dear jury. If you have extra slides to show during the Q&A session, we can allow you screen sharing so that you could demonstrate them. And after the last speech, of course, after you receive our gratitude for these presentations, for these speeches, you will be allowed to leave the stage and then wait for the official announcement. Yes, again, 5-minute speech, 3 minutes Q&A. The room boss, lord and master, will keep a proper track on the timing. Jury will assess the performance of each startup presentation. I have a role to check for compliance with the ClimateLaunchpad format, number of slides, missing slides, and so on and so forth. Then winners of each theme of the regional final will be announced in a live stream, and you will see if you make it or not. And you will see like who are the first, second, and third places to proceed to the final stage. And also we will mark the, let's say, the fourth place or the wild cards possible contestants who might receive a wild card to go again to the global finals. And yes, so we do the pitches, then we have a break, then you will see announcements of the winners in live stream. Then we invite you to hear the speech about psychological barriers for sustainable business, which is always an interesting topic. Like the human factor is practically an essential drive force for, or an obstacle for sustainable development and entrepreneurship. And then we'll see the top 8 winning pitches of the semifinals, and we'll see who is the winners of the regional final for Europe. All good? Good. So it's not only me who will be talking here. This is also these 3 people would be able to ask you questions and assess your pitches. So we have David here, who is strategic programs building at IIT Climate-KIC. We have Richard Speaks. Sorry if I mispronounce your names and surnames, who is an investment director at Innovation Industries. And we have Rita Sousa, who is a partner at Faber Ventures. If I may have a little pause and allow David and Richard, and do we have Rita? Yes, we have Rita, hello, to say a few words of welcome intro, if you want.
Sure, happy to. My name is David Watt. I work for EIT Climate-KIC in the strategic programs team, really looking after early stage entrepreneurship programming. Of course, the ClimateLaunchpad was started by EIT Climate-KIC 9 years ago in collaboration with TU Delft. And yeah, really excited to see the pitches today. I think, you know, congratulations to everyone for making it this far in the competition. And I wish you all very good luck with the Q&A and really looking forward to it. So good luck.
Good morning, nice to meet you. I'll look forward to your pitches. A bit on myself. I'm an engineer turned consultant turned VC, and I work for Innovation Industries. It's a 250 million assets under management deep tech VC in the Netherlands. We invest 5 to 25 million per company, but we have we're very technology driven. So I have an electrical engineering background. My master thesis supervisor was also in wave energy technology. So I look forward to your pitches on these topics and others.
Rita, do you want to say a few words?
Sure. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. My name is Rita. I'm partner at Faber for the Ocean Climate Tech Fund. So Faber is a Lisbon-based VC firm, and we manage a fund that is dedicated for ocean technologies and climate technologies. We focus on early stages of companies and deep tech in different areas related to the blue economy. So we have an European mandate, but of course, given that we're based in Lisbon, we have an Iberian special focus. Thank you.
Thank you, dear jury members, David, Richard, and Rita. So indeed, as you see, these are knowledgeable, professional, and experienced people who indeed will be able to assess your pitches and give you maybe questions that indeed test your entrepreneurial and climate change mitigation or adaptation potential. And as you see, we go, practically all of us have these blue screens behind us, which means like what? Which means like we're in the topic of blue economy. And yes, let's see what we have in this topic and who are the startups that we'll be presenting today. So the startups and the round in which the pitches will flow like a river, a water ponds of today. We have first presenting Gigaton, second FlexiVec, third Wico or Weco, fourth Agora Solutions, and last but not least SAO. A round of applause, virtual ones. And yes, so let's these presentations begin. Good luck to everyone. And the first startup is Gigaton.
Hi, I'm Sapir, and we are a team of former officers in the Special Operation and Technology of the Israeli Intelligence Force. We're asked to tackle the world's biggest problem, climate change. After a year of deep research, we had a major breakthrough in the field of carbon removal. We're selling carbon credits in the voluntary market in cooperation with shipping companies. Our beachhead market is the voluntary market. It is available and the revenue is the highest to this point. Second will be the European Union, which is already dedicated to this mission. Last will be the regulatory market worldwide. Here you can see a graph representing the three main criteria when looking at CO2 removal solutions. In the y-axis, you can see the cost in dollars per ton of CO2. The colorful bar in the x-axis is the scalability with gigatons per year per technology. And the clocks represent the quality, the permanence of sequestration. Gigaton's main value proposition is the low cost per ton of CO2. Second is the most scalable solution expected, which has the potential to remove 200,000 tons per year after piloting. Third unique value proposition is the high quality of carbon sequestration, which is more than 1,000 years. There are three stages to our product. First is the geoptimization, which is our solution of choosing the optimized areas in the ocean to implement our technology. Then there is the fixation, which is an enhanced marine photosynthesis that fixes carbon using only natural energy. Third is the export, active export of the biomass that created the deep ocean below 1,000 meters, where it will stay to more than 1,000 years. Throughout our value chain, there are three important guiding principles: financial variability, environmentally safe, and MRV through the whole process. In our customer discovery, we interviewed 8 companies, big tech and shipping companies. When we asked about the values that they are looking for in carbon removal technologies, the first answer was the scalability of the technology. Furthermore, there was the cost, quality of sequestration, and the ability to measure the amount of carbon sequestered. Another important thing we learned is that shipping companies see Gigaton's technology as another potential source of income, except for a way to reduce its own emissions. Our product is 1 ton of sequestered CO2, and the key drivers for the financial model are: first, net price per product, which is defined by the market; then the products per deal, which is defined by the Gigaton scalability, how much we can deliver to each customer; and third is the market share, which depends on how fast Gigaton will enter the market. Our climate impact is direct. We actively remove CO2 excess from the atmosphere and oceans when our target for our beachhead market only is 200,000 tons of CO2 per year. This is us, and this is our dream.
And thank you, Gigaton.
Hi, thank you.
Virtual applauses for you, of course. Now we have 3 minutes and the clock starts ticking for Q&A from the jury to you. David, Richard, Rita?
Yeah, if I may, I have a question more on the technology in terms of how you, what makes it unique versus any other company that would try to do the same. What?
Yeah, so actually we are kind in a sensitive period of time because of patenting. So this is why it is kind of basic explanation, but there is a lot to deep dive into the technology. I can say generally that we are biomimicking a natural process, and this is how we also reached to this low cost and large scale solution. We are doing a biomimicking of the biological pump, which is the largest natural process of carbon sequestration on Earth, the natural process. But we're doing it like in a smart and artificial way, but using the same natural materials. So I'm happy to also talk it through later, maybe in a different conversation, but yeah, for here it's a bit.
Apply for the patent first, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. May I follow up with a question? So can you please elaborate a little bit more on what is your targeted market? So what do you mean exactly by the voluntary market? So who will you be reaching out to, and what is what is the business case for these potential B2B customers, as far as I understand? Sure.
So as it showed in the slides, we talked to 8 companies, which it includes the companies that under the Frontier organization, Stripe, Alphabet, Meta, etc., and with 2 big shipping companies that ship worldwide. And we got really good reactions from both, from the Frontier companies as a potential customer. They also wanted us to join the next BD for purchases, for future purchases. And the shipping companies, as also I said, was really great conversation because they really loved the model. It is very flexible about the business model. Now we're talking about the ref share with them, about the credits, on the credits. So they really love this idea and the idea that they can take part in this mission. It's really important to them as well. And now they don't have any way to do it just to pay taxes. And they really see it as another source of income, which is super interesting. Because with this business model of the ref share, 25% of ref share, they earn twice as much than regular shipping container. So can be, the potential is very good.
Okay, the time is up, but David, if you have a 10 seconds question for a 10 seconds answer.
No, my question was going to be about this revenue sharing model, but I think it's been covered. So thank you for that.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Samir, from Gigaton. Yay. Okay, very good, very good. We go next, yes. Let me do this Zoom thing of sharing. And yeah, you have already seen who will be the next startup, and it is FlexiVec.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us. In theory, extracting wave energy can satisfy 10% of the global electricity demand. However, it is just proved too expensive. that is, up until now. At Wave Conversion Partners, we want to change this by simplifying a proven design using a disruptive approach. Because the deal is very simple, we will convert wave energy into electricity and sell it to the national grid. In a few years' time, our electricity will cost around 10 cents per kilowatt hour, matching the price currently paid for fossil fuel energy, and ultimately the price will be as low as 5 cents per kilowatt hour. Globally, wave energy conversion is a €200 billion market. Our target market is smaller, around 10 billion euros, as our devices need a certain type of nearshore location in order to operate. Our beachhead market is a subset, since first, we will target countries with high feed-in tariffs for wave energy, and secondly, we will target locations which require protection from coastal erosion, as an additional benefit of our devices is that we can help rebuild their beaches. Electricity produced by FlexiWEC is not only sustainable and pollution-free, but as I've mentioned, costs less than the fossil fuel energy does currently, meaning we can help countries reduce their oil and gas imports. Additionally, our devices can help protect beaches, reducing the energy from large waves, but also can be configured to fully optimize the constructive nature of small waves, pushing sand up the beach and helping to rebuild it. On a community level, our devices are out of sight, silent, take up very little space, and therefore can share coastal areas with other coastal activities. We also estimate that around 20,000 new jobs will be created globally in industries such as manufacturing, installation, and tourism, helping to deliver a big social impact. Wave energy converters typically involve large metallic structures with complex moving parts. They're expensive to build, they're expensive to maintain, and they're easily damaged by storms. Recently, simpler devices have reduced energy prices thanks to two innovations. Firstly, they sit on the sea floor away from the most destructive waves on the surface. And secondly, instead of complex metallic moving parts, they use simple, flexible membranes to capture pressure variations. We take things one step further. We no longer need to install large metallic structures on the seabed. Instead, we embed our membranes within the seabed where they can be fully protected during storms. The result is that we can produce electricity that is twice as cheap as even the most efficient wave energy converters on the market today. For electricity, things are simple. Electricity is a well-defined product and feed-in tariffs are decided by policymakers. Further, interviews with technical experts have helped inform our design and ensure its viability. At the local level, we found that councils do not want anything which will spoil the natural look of the beach or prevent recreational use, which by design, FlexiWEC will not. Additionally, councils are actively seeking new beach protection measures that are more sustainable and eco-friendly, and this could be a complementary market for us in the future. In 5 years' time, we aim to be at 1% of our 15-year target, generating around €100 million in revenue each year by producing and selling 1,250 gigawatt hours of electricity per year. This is driven primarily by product cost, feed-in tariffs for the grid, and the cost of connecting to the grid. According to the IPCC, ocean energy is the cleanest form of energy generation, generating 97% less CO2 than burning natural gas. Our lightweight solution takes this one step further and seeing a 99% reduction in emissions. Why though do we compare with natural gas? The grid needs to balance intermittent sources such as wind and solar with continuous inputs like fossil fuels, and we propose ocean energy as the alternative continuous input. Ultimately, our goal is to remove 50 million tonnes of CO2 from the global annual emissions base in the next 15 years. Additionally, by removing energy from the waves, we make them less destructive to the coastline and can actually help rebuild the world's beaches. Our dream is simple. Waves can generate electricity and waves can rebuild beaches. So let's make it happen. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, FlexiWEC. A wave of virtual applauses for you. So we're back to the stage, yes, 3 minutes of Q&A for FlexiWEC, please.
Thank you.
I have another question, again on the technology, if I may, which is, how have you compared yourself versus other technologies that are also collecting energy from waves? I mean, in the end, it's a commodity, so it's all about cost. Can you shed some light on sort of the analysis that you've done, let's say at scale 5-10 years down the line, how you compare versus other wave energy technologies?
Up to you. So for us, it is primarily based on cost. So as I said, in sort of 5 or 10 years, we'll be cheaper than floating wind, and certainly cheaper than any wave energy converters out there. But we also have additional benefits in that we don't disrupt any activities on the beach. Being under the seabed means that we're totally out of the way of anything. We don't spoil the view, anything like that. So those are really the two big value propositions for us.
Yes, and about cost, how we compare with existing technology. You may be familiar with the Bambora technology. They're the sort of one of the leading submerged pressure differential company, and we sort of use the same principle, which is a proven principle. It's been modeled and experimented with, except we make it cheaper because instead of having flexible panels embedded in the metallic structure, we directly install those flexible panels under the seabed. So we remove the need for a 800-ton metallic structure, which makes it much cheaper. And if you look at the financial models, it sort of divides the LCOE by 2. So we use a proven approach. We just make it cheaper.
Clear, thank you.
May I have a follow-up question on that, which is at which stage of development are you? So what have you developed so far? And
so yeah, maybe this way. Yeah, we've been prototyping for 18 months, like in a test tank and on the beach. So far we've tested devices up to 4 square meters on the beach. So typically the devices, they sink themselves under the sand, like a fish that would wiggle itself under the sand. And then we test the whole process of inflating them, making them emerge from the sand. So yeah, and we've also applied for a couple of patents about that, because we've discovered quite a lot of things by actually doing things in the lab environment and on the beach. So yeah, that's where we are.
okay, thank you.
I just have a quick question. In the beginning, you mentioned that this type of solution is suited to particular types of coastline. Could you elaborate a little bit on that? Are they commonly found, or is it only a very specific type of a coast where this would be applicable?
Yeah, so for perhaps obvious reasons, we need sand, so a sandy beach, which I mean are relatively common around the world, but there are also lots of rocky coastlines which wouldn't be appropriate for us, but there are plenty of those. It needs a depth of between 5 and 10 meters roughly. 5 and 20 meters. So so near shore, but obviously that's anywhere in the world. And then we need an appropriate wave resource. Obviously there needs to be, it can't be calm water. And we've had some analysis done, and we have now a global sediments map around the world, which shows us where the best locations are, which meet all 3 of those criteria. And there is sufficient. I could show you a map, but I think we're going to run out of time. But yes, we've made sure of this. Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
No worries.
Thank you very much, FlexiWec, Thomas, Jakob, and are we ready for the next startup?
Thank you.
Jury, you're okay? Okay, Richard is okay. Okay, good. Okay, so let me launch this and this. So we're still surfing the wave of ocean energy, and our next startup is Rico.
Every year we produce more and more renewable energy, and that's great. However, most of this comes from solar and wind power. And what are we going to do when we are 100% renewable, but there is no sun and no wind? Well, this is called a donkervloeite, and it's been getting more and more attention as of late. My name is Luc Hoogvorst, and at WICO, we are going to tackle this problem at the core by adding another form of renewable energy, energy from ocean waves. Studies show that if you add wave energy to the other forms, the overall quality of power production is improved, and this is supported by a lot of scientific studies. Our deal, you can see our device on the left. It produces power, and we sell this to the utility companies. In return, we get a price for this electricity based on market forces, and because we can provide power at moments that others cannot, we expect a favorable electricity price. We'll start small by providing power to small tropical islands because they really need affordable power. After that, we will go to large islands, and in the end, we will be providing power to large countries. In the graph, you can see the price of electricity for several Caribbean islands, and at the time, the price of electricity was 5 times higher than what we pay in Europe. Our value proposition is clear. You will be able to cut your electricity price in half and at the same time meet your sustainable energy goals. You can see our device on the left. It consists of floating pontoons that lie deep in the water and use the horizontal motion to capture the waves instead of what is normally used, the vertical motion. And because of that, we increase the efficiency of energy capture by 2-fold, meaning that we can produce twice as much energy from the waves. We keep the costs low by using 95% off-the-shelf parts, and 5% we can patent. Our device will be the lightest wave energy converter in the world, and this is also a huge cost saver. We survive storms and big waves by moving with the waves instead of against them. And this reduces the high forces that can normally destroy a stationary device, as can be seen on the right. We've looked at a lot of options for our first customers, and we like islands the best because of our motto, clean, affordable power for the people. And from our interviews, we learned that they indeed have an expensive electricity because they rely on diesel generators and have to import diesel from abroad. They have a goal to become carbon neutral, but their main driver is the expensive electricity. They see that going from 80% renewable to 100% renewable energy is financially unfeasible, and this is where we can help. They are, however, risk averse and would like to see a long period of time in which our device is operating in the sea. Our key driver for our profit is the lifetime of our device. If we can produce electricity for longer, then we can get more revenue per device. The scalability, how fast can we go from one island to another? And finally, the cost of our device, which will keep improving as our company matures. We've used the impact focus tool to calculate our climate impact, and we see that we can save 100,000 tons of CO2 per year for an island of 2,000 people. The CO2 that we produce in the build and the transportation of our device is offset in only 2 days of saving diesel for these islands. Our team consists of Eert Hogewerf and myself. Eert Hogewerf studied at the Delft University of Technology and is very good at prototyping, having built several robots in his life and now also a small wave energy converter. I built my first wave energy device when I was 17 years old, and I studied wave energy as part of my thesis at the Delft University of Technology. We are looking for a third person, so anybody that would like to sign up can go to our website, joinwico.nl. We are supported by a team of mentors and coaches, which come from different backgrounds, from the ocean cleanup to freelancers to founders of startups. Our motto is clean, affordable power for the people, and our dream is that 10% of the world will be powered by waves. And with that, I hope you join us in the Wave Energy Collective. Thank you.
Thank you, Wico. Yeah, indeed, a lot of energetic Victor applauses for you. So yes, the flow is the same. We have 3 minutes of Q&A for Wico. Please.
I have a quick one, which is basically very similar to David's last question, which is your addressable market, or basically where you can deploy your system. Can you shed some light on that?
Yes, thank you for your question. So our device, we are going to test it at the North Sea next year, and that is 20 meters deep. And we calculate that our device can be employed anywhere from 10 meters deep to 40 meters deep. And the surface of the ground doesn't really matter for us because we need to be anchored using anchoring lines. So we have a mooring system that can be deployed in sand, but also on rockier bottoms. So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Can you summarize the value proposition of your technology when compared with other wave energy technologies as well, and specifically mention what you're targeting in terms of LCOE?
Yes, thank you for your question. So first, for the LCOE, we have a target of below 5 cents per kilowatt hour. And it also depends on the waves themselves, what the price is going to be. So that's why we say below 5 cents. And with respect to other wave energy converters, we see that lighter is cheaper. And the lightest wave energy converter right now in the world, what they claim, is core power. And they use a big buoy which goes up and down. And because we use the horizontal motion, we are not dependent on buoyancy for our energy capture. So normally, if you go up and down, more buoyancy is more energy. Because we go left and right, we do not have that problem. So on a back of the envelope calculation shows that we're going to be 50 to 100 times lighter than the light system that is around right now.
Thank you.
I noticed that you mentioned survivability and durability a bit in the presentation. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, so surviving storms is actually one of the most important things, of course. And because we lie deep in the water, we see that the big waves actually go over our device. So we have less forces from that. And also, when we notice that the forces become too great, our system, because of how it's designed, it automatically is going to move more with the waves. So in that way, you lessen the forces that normally can destroy a device that is stationary in the sea, where it really has to be battered by all these waves. We just move with the waves, and then you reduce the force. And in that way, you don't have to, it doesn't break.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Luke and Wico. Yes, are we ready to move to the next pitch? All good? All good. Okay, so far we have admired 3 presentations, 3 startups. We have 2 more to go. And I need a water pun. Let me think of one quickly. Okay, yeah. So let's go deep into the essence of the next startup, Agora Solutions.
Imagine you are a seaweed farmer. Every day you are operating in highly variable circumstances. What if we can provide insights into the marine environment? Today, I present on behalf of Agora Solutions, integrating data management for sustainable aquaculture, starting with seaweed cultivation. Agora Solutions is a B2B software as a service company, enabling seaweed farmers to reduce their risk of crop loss by using our software. we identified our beachhead market as the innovative seaweed farmers, which means that they are gathering environmental monitoring data, allowing us to directly provide valuable insights. On a yearly basis, these companies spend €46 million on software. We have a seaweed growth model based on in-situ monitoring and satellite data that provides actionable insights for seaweed farmers to mitigate crop loss. To give an example, our customers assume linear growth of production when expanding their farm area. This is based on literature. But taking environmental issues into account will incorporate risks. And this is exactly the area where we make the difference. We deliver real-time monitoring of the farm construction and marine environment with an easily accessible dashboard. Using the market's best available tools to create the first integrated data management software. We strive for continuous improvement of software due to data collection of all connected farms. And the largest producers of Europe are showing willingness to use our product. By putting ourselves within the perspective of the customer, we started with questions like, could you talk me through the process from outplanting to harvesting from the last season? By conducting 40+ interviews, we learned that environmental monitoring data is stored in Excel. So processing and analysis are essential to get the full benefit of data. Furthermore, seaweed farmers are unable to provide a reliable prediction of their production, and no validation method is available to ensure whether they become profitable at all. Our costs contain salary, space allocation, server and API costs. The price includes software, online support, and use of data credits. From our beachhead market, we want to address 25 customers in year 3 to realize a profit of 400K per year. We reduce 2,500 tons CO2 per client per year, considering carbon emissions of employees and server usage. A significant impact on this number due to increased production of seaweed, and therefore absorbing carbon, nitrate and phosphorus while giving oxygen back to the ocean. And for the future, our data analytics facilitate the acquaintance of carbon credits. Jip, Francis and I have the dream to address environmental issues in regions where data-driven solutions are not easily accessible. With the entire team of Agora Solutions, the seaweed sector could possibly make the next step. But in order to succeed, the synergy of ClimateLaunchpad and Agora is needed.
And thank you, Agora Solutions. So we have the next 3 minutes to untangle the seaweeds of these startups with questions and answers. Please.
I have a first question, if I may. So how are you collecting the data to be able to develop your data analytics model?
Hey Rita, it depends on the technology level of the farm, but what we found out is that for most farms the data now is stored in Excel. So where we want to start is help them to process the data which is stored in Excel to a database, and from there start with the analysis.
And most of these companies have like different inputs of data. For example, they're using handheld sensors or satellite data, and we want to provide a platform where you can see all these inputs in one overview.
And laboratory also.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you exactly in terms of product development? At which stage have you developed, started developing the data model?
Yeah, currently we are working on our MVP. So we've started with Excel templates to upload them, process in the database, and yeah, provide like the first graphs with several alerts in it.
Okay. Thank you.
I have another question. What prevents competition from coming in and competing head on with you? What gives you an edge?
I think that also has to do with the question of Rita. So if we look to data input, we want to directly bring value and insights. This means we also have to start at the current technology level of the farm. And so the difference with competitors is that we are independent of hardware solutions. So our competitors use hardware sensors to enable their software. And we start from the level where the farmers are right now.
Okay, thank you.
I just have a quick one on related to the competition. So if I'm a farm, why would I choose Agora Solutions versus this competitor that has a hardware solution? Is it more price attractive, or is the data or the algorithm, the data model going to be more accurate for my needs, or what's the edge?
We are independent from the hardware solutions. So that means that we can scale and advance over time with the best innovations that are available in the market. So in time, more advanced sensors will come with API functions, stuff like that. And together, we use our knowledge to scale the farm with the innovations. And we are not dependent of our own hardware developments, which will, at the time you develop a hardware component from your idea to when it's functioning, there will already be something else.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tom from Agora Solutions. A wave of applause for you, of course. Are you ready for the next startup? All good? Good. We have the last but not least cherry on the ClimateLaunchpad pie. Let me do this Zoom sharing thing. Oops. Yes. No. Sorry. And once again. Yes, so the last but not least startup, let's navigate the nets of the business called SAO.
Hello everyone, my name is Marine Olasia. I'm a fashion designer and an environment volunteer. From the net to the yarn to the circular economy, ready to commit to this virtuous circle? What is SAO? It's the transformation of used fishing nets to recycle them into textile. What is the deal? The beachhead market is B2C. It's to sell directly to consumers with an e-commerce website. An important market as well will be distributors, specialized in sustainable clothes made in France and sportswear. What is the textile market? On global market, it's more than 91 billion euros. The beachhead market is ethical fashion market with 6.2 million euros, a growing market with a huge potential. Between 15 and 99% of customers are ready to change their habits to consume fashion because the textile industry is one of the most impactful on the global climate change. What is the value? Compared with the other brand, Sao is more expensive, but it's made in France with an ethical production, reducing carbon impact with a local production. It's circular by helping to reduce the waste from sea and ports. For France, it's totally new to recycle nets and transform them in clothes. Sao is a concrete solution for the protection of sea and oceans. What is the product? Sao is in line with the logic of transparency on the origin of our textile. You know where they come from and where they go. From the net to the thread to the technical clothing, 100% made in France. You can clearly project yourself around a recycled material that makes sense. Finally, Sao responds at 6 of 17 Sustainable Development Goals. After interviewing almost 180 people, it seems that 94% are very interested by recycling marine waste into textile, and 85% are ready to increase their sportswear budget between 50 and 100 euros for a textile 100% made in France. It's a first analysis that will be completed by a more in-depth market study, but it gives an optimistic trend on the beachhead market. In 2024, the projection is to make a profit more than 136,000 euros. The slow fashion is to consume less but better. The objective of Sao is to change our ways to consume fashion. That's why first collection will have a single iconic product, and slowly the collection will grow. What is the impact of fashion industry? About polyester is the most used fabric in fashion, and polyester is petrol. Using recycled polyester from fishing nets reduces the impact at 50% and generate less 32% of CO2. Fishing nets is 10% of the plastic pollution found at the bottom of the oceans. About carbon, textile made in France reduces the carbon footprint by half compared to the production in Asia. What is the impact of Sao? Per year, for one t-shirt, is close to less 1.5 on carbon footprint. And per collection, it's close to less 1 ton, an equivalent to 39 trees or a fly from London to New York. So, what is my dream? Today, Sao is part of an ecosystem of impact entrepreneurs as the support of public territorial establishment, a blue economic attractiveness agency, a recycling manufacturer, a textile innovation research center. My dream is to act concretely for the protection of sea and oceans, reduce the impact waste, develop the Made in France in fashion, and achieve 150,000 euros until 2024 to create the brand, start the research and development, and to hire my dream team. Thank you.
So, from another startup presentation goes to a round of applause. So, again, we have 3 minutes of questions and answers for Sao. Please.
I have a quick one. Are you only targeting fishing nets or also broader trash or waste in the market to upcycle?
At first, it will be just fishing nets, yes. But compared with the other brand, there is not all the fishing nets that can be recycled. So at first, it will be the fishing nets from the tuna, and after we will develop for all the fishing nets. So this is a huge waste on bottle of the water, but also in the port and communities. And there is a huge topic, about find a good solution and a good end of life of this waste.
I have a question, Marine. So well, maybe two questions. Where do you source, or where do you get these nets from in the first place? And then can you tell us a little bit about the process to convert them from the net into the fabric?
Okay, so there is a lot of association in France that, and I'm a part also with another, that can localize all the fish nets in ports. And also there is like association of scuba diving can localize underwater fountain fish nets. So all these info, we have to collect them and with like trucks and spots. On spots with the collecting fishing nets on port, and after we drive them into the fabric, the production and the recycling using. And so, what is the process? So there is a center in the north of France that have the machine that can recycle fishing nets at the beginning into granulate. So little granulate, and after, when there is on this granulate, you can transform them in object or in thread, and after the thread you can do fabric. And all this we can have traceability since the port until the production. So it's totally transparent and traceable.
And Marine, just a short follow-up question on this.
Yeah.
How easy will it be for your potential customers, the textile industry, to use those granulates? Is this something that they use already, or will
there is
a change in their process?
Yes. So there is two ways to consume and to buy these granulates. Already it's on the market to buy directly the granulates to do, for example, glasses or different objects for school, for example. And also there is brands already working on this project, but not in France. So it's totally new for France, and the project is already on this way, but in France it's totally new. And the difference with the competitors is the transparency of the process and also of the materials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Marine from Sao.
Thank you.
And yes, we have had all 5 startup pitches. So I say we send some renewable energy to our startups with a grand tsunami of applauses. Yes, and thank you, Frank, our room boss, Lord and Master. So here you already see the link where you will see the announcements of the jury selection. With the jury members, we will stay a little bit to hang out and to do some deliberations, because indeed all pitches are quite good, and it's tough to assess, but still we need to choose someone like the first, second, and third place, and the 4th possibility as a wild card nomination. So what comes next is indeed, we will select top 3 startups from each theme to go to the semifinals of the global final. And one of you, the top 1st startup from Blue Economy, will get the chance to pitch again today, this afternoon, for some cash prizes. So you don't have to wait for some money until the global grand final. You may get some money today. Yes, and also the wildcard nominees will be announced again today via live streaming. Don't forget that there will be also a presentation about psychology for sustainable startup, for sustainable business, which is quite an interesting and informative talk. Good luck to everyone on your next evolution through Climate Launchpad, or if you don't get selected, still good luck on your evolution of your startup, and have a favorable wind of surfing the waves of sustainability. Your final water pumps of today. And of course, I need to thank again Frank, our room boss, Lord and Master, for having everything tip-top. Thank you for our jury members, for David, Richard, and Rita, for your questions, for discussions, and soon for your elaboration and selection. And of course, I need to thank, this should be like the Climate Launchpad itself and the Bank of America, who made this competition once again a possibility. And yes, with this, we can finally arrive to the beaches of blue economy and conclude this session, and hope to see some more beaches and some more happy faces today in the afternoon in the announcement of winners. Thank you. Best wishes. Good luck. Bye-bye.